Okay, hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Ruske. I'm with Tiara International, and joining me today is my partner and from around the world, Franciska Dekker.
I'm from the Netherlands today. Yes.
Thank you, Franciska. Thanks for joining. We're going to have a chat about the topic is relationship and results, and why they're so important to combine them and what role connection plays inside of that. And so we're going to break that all apart. Um, but Francisca, we talk about relationships and results as not being separate. We talk about it as a both and. We want relationship and we want results. We don't want the either or. Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that? What does the both and mean to you? Why is it so important to have both?
Yeah, well, in my view, we don't produce results on our own. We are always in relationship to something or someone or other people. Especially in leadership, we work with other people. So we have to take both into account. The challenge that I see is finding the right combination of
Mm.
both, finding, optimize the two, because well, under stress, under time pressure, for instance, it may be that we can be pressed towards results and maybe choose at certain moments to do things on our own to arrive quicker where we want to be, and then lose some of the relationship. On the other hand, and we see that a lot with women, that there is a sort of preference to go for the relationship above the result. Maybe I don't say it quite right, but it's a kind of feminine preference or a feminine view that can be part of men, both men and women. But the feminine knows that the relationship needs to be taken into account.
Mm.
So that part of him takes that into account. But then, how much focus and energy do you put towards the relationship, and how much focus and energy goes towards the results? How do you optimize the both?
Yeah, it really is a balancing act, as you point out, it's not just men and women, and I like that you're pointing out it's feminine energy, masculine energy. Women have both feminine and masculine energy. Men have both masculine and feminine energy. And so the feminine side of our brain wants to keep the relationship intact, and the masculine side of our brain wants to produce the results. Not that, the feminine doesn't want to produce results. And there are situations where I think, it's kind of like if you think about that balance, the scales, the balancing act. And we talked about how situationally that might change. There might be situations where one has to lead, but they have to move together is what our message really is. That putting one at the expense of the other is really detrimental. It's detrimental to the results because they're not sustainable, and I think we believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I do, that I can produce better results, maybe even bigger, more important, and definitely more sustainable results when I am doing it in community, when I'm doing it with people. It does put a layer of complexity in there, of course, but there's only so much that individuals can do on their own.
Yeah, that's true. I hear you, Beth. And maybe the more we are responsible for a part of the content of something, like the financials or I don't know what, it may be relatively easy or straightforward to work on our own. But um, yeah, the more we have to handle more complex situations, the more we do need each other to make progress and to move forward. And I'm thinking that you also ask about where does connection come in? And connection is maybe really the basis for all of it. It's the basis to be able to produce results together, so to be in the relationship, but also the basis to achieve those sustainable results, because the others are already in it. And I can see connection as like um, an yeah, a depth, an investment of depth of how do you
Mm,
say that? It's a basis, it's a foundation,
yeah.
because if that foundational connection is good, the easier and the faster you can go, the quicker you can make a decision and decide to go a certain direction, or have somebody opting in, or maybe telling you to opt out, because yeah,
Yeah.
because of the trust there.
Yeah. I think I think given what's happening in our world today, and depending on when you'll be, watching this video in 2020 and 2021, we're dealing with a global pandemic health crisis with virus COVID-19, and it is harder and harder for people to stay connected, and easier to fall away and just be getting things done, and not that your work is shoddy, but that it just takes more effort to stay connected.
Yeah.
But our message to you, if you're hearing this, is that whether you're in a pandemic or not, it's worth the effort. And it's worth the effort because, as Franciska's pointing out, it helps to keep that trust foundation really solid and alive. It helps you to really minimize mistakes when you're connected. If I'm just producing result, heads down, going about my result, and I'm not really connected, I might not make that extra step to check with you, Franciska. Is this what you meant? How does this look? And there could be miscommunication, as well as mistakes and miscues. And I think that's important for people to realize that that isn't it's a byproduct of staying connected. So if you're not connected, it's more likely that will happen. It's not a guarantee that if you stay connected, you won't make mistakes or have miscommunications, but the likelihood gets diminished. And I think the other thing it does is it allows us to um, increase our risk taking, like our innovation and our creativity, when we have this connection. Like we're willing to try something that maybe we wouldn't do on our own. So I think those are some of the reasons that we would give you to go that extra mile right now, especially right now. Stay connected to your team. If you're a leader, everyone wants to be connected differently. Don't try to put a one size fits all approach. I know I've had more interesting connections not on video, not on Zoom video in the last 2 weeks, just regular phone calls. And they've just felt different for some reason. So, as we wrap up today, Franciska, any final words that you have for just kind of reminding people how important it is to balance relationship and results and staying connected?
I would say what helps me and what I like to share is, if we optimize the combination of both, we arrive at places and situations that are good for all. Decisions that are good for you, Beth, are good for me, but also for what we are trying to serve in our communities and in the world. So I would say go and enjoy, explore the power that comes from that.
That's terrific. And to me that triggers that not only is it better for all, it creates that win-win, and everyone gets to grow and feel good about it in the process. So and it's easier to fix it if it's broken.
Yeah.
So you have that side of it too. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for engaging in the conversation. Producing results is vital to any job, any project, any relationship, any leader. You have to produce results in order to stay and continue to grow and produce the things you need for your company and your organizations. But doing it with people, doing it through the relationships that you nurture. That's our recommendation to you today.
Absolutely.